community mean to you? For some, it's a shared language. For others, it's about heritage, beliefs, or a common struggle. If you were to ask Google what is community, it would state a group of people living in the same place or having a particular characteristic in common. For me, community means connection through culture and identity. But what happens when those connections begin to fade? My name is Julieana Kammo. In this video, I'll explore what it means to preserve Chaldean culture identity while integrating into a broader American society. The Chaldean community, originally from Iraq, has faced war, displacement, and the hardships of migration. Many of us resettled in cities like Detroit, where we began rebuilding our lives. But today we face quieter struggles, such as discrimination, the loss of our language, generational conflict, and the stigma surrounding mental health. These issues don't always make headlines, but they deeply affect our identity. For many Chaldeans, the journey from Iraq to America is more than a physical migration. It is a cultural and emotional transformation. But integration isn't always smooth. One of the hardest parts, discrimination. Chaldeans are often misunderstood because we come from the Middle East. Sometimes we're lumped into stereotypes or assumptions that don't reflect who we are. People don't always recognize us as Christians, or they confuse our ethnic identity with political or religious conflict. This discrimination can show up in many ways, whether it's job opportunities, being targeted at airports, or simply being treated as other. For many, that sense of alienation makes it harder to feel at home in American society. It creates pressure to let go of our identity just to fit in. In my opinion, we shouldn't have to choose between being accepted and being ourselves. As we work to integrate into the society, we also have to work just as hard to educate others about who we are. Because a big part of the solution starts with awareness, breaking down the stereotypes and humanizing the Chaldean experience. Language loss is one of the most viable signs of cultural erosion. Many young Chaldeans no longer speak Sudeth, the Neo-Aramaic language of our ancestors. This creates a gap between generations, where even simple conversations become difficult. The Chaldean Community Foundation has successfully created classes to learn Sudeth for adults and children. Generational conflict is another issue. Older generations often struggle to understand the values of younger Chaldeans who are growing up in a very different culture. Expectations around marriage, career, or even lifestyle can lead to tension. This is especially clear when it comes to traditional Chaldean values around family roles, dating, marriage, or religion, which can clash with more liberal norms of American society. For instance, while many Chaldean parents value early marriage and staying within the faith, younger Chaldeans may prioritize education, career, or relationships that challenge those social norms. We need more intergenerational spaces, community centers, or forums where younger and older Chaldeans can talk openly. This helps bridge misunderstandings, foster a mutual respect, and at these meetings we can talk openly about how in this new generation we are living in a different world than what our parents and grandparents knew. Mental health is a serious issue in the Chaldean community, one that is too often overlooked. Many of us come from backgrounds shaped by trauma, war, or displacement. But when it comes to talking about emotions or mental illnesses, silence is the norm. Mental health struggles are often hidden in the Chaldean community, not because they don't exist, but because they're rarely talked about. Cultural presence, fear of judgment, and misunderstanding all play a role. This stigma is especially strong in traditional communities like ours, where mental illness can be seen as a personal failure or a spiritual weakness. An objection to language loss is some might argue that language naturally evolves or fades over generations, and that it is more important for younger generations to focus on dominant languages like English for success. They might say it's a necessary trade-off for integration and opportunity. Some might say trying to maintain a minority language distracts from academic and career growth. Some say that food, religion, and values can still survive without speaking your native language. But in my opinion, language is more than just words. It holds emotional and historical identity that can't be replaced. Preserving it can build pride and belonging, even while succeeding in English-speaking environments. Others may see generational conflict as a normal and healthy part of adapting to a new society. They might argue that blending traditional and modern values can actually create a stronger, more flexible identity over time. Some might say that young people exaggerate the conflict and just want to reject traditions, while some parents may feel they are protecting their children by holding on to their values. In my opinion, while blending values can be healthy, unresolved conflict can lead to emotional distance, resentment, or identity confusion. Open dialogue is key, not avoiding or forced assimilation. Overall, in my opinion, our community is resilient, but resilience doesn't mean we ignore change. It means we shape it. By embracing both tradition and adaptation, we can build a stronger, more connected Chaldean identity. And preserving our culture is not just about survival, it's about honoring the past while creating a future that feels like home. Together we can bridge gaps, open the conversations, and keep our identity alive for generations to come.